Okay, I think we are live. And they changed something again. Open new group settings in the post formats. Okay, I'm going live with StreamYard. And if you want to... Okay, yeah, all good. No, we are good. I think that's fine. Hello and welcome. It's Katrin with Blend Precisely. And today is Wednesday, July 5th, one day after July 4th. And I think that in general, July 5th should be an official holiday, not just July 4th, because we have to recover from all of the July 4th activities. And our neighbors in this case are very special here in New Hampshire. They own a fireworks store and they have been firing off their fireworks for a month now and extremely intensively for the past week. And that is just highly, highly annoying. And on top of it, the animals don't like it at all. So I'm done. I'm good. 4th of July, I'm good. I don't need more fireworks, and I certainly don't need more neighbors that own a fireworks store. So that's crazy. So with that being said, I am extremely tired today, but still here, and we're gonna look at batching today. I got this email and I thought if the question comes up once, most likely there is a question somewhere else as well. It might have not just been posted, but it's basically how to use the batch tool in Blend Precisely, where you can create your unit prices at the same time still. So I wanted to make sure that I'm going to show you how that would work. And also, I'm going to share my screen for that. And then you can see if that is something you might want to use, because it's just extremely practical. And when I'm using it, it's basically at the times or during the times when, for example, if I'm going to my farmer's market here on Saturdays, and I normally create a sample size first, and then I test it, I let other people test it. So I'm just sampling basically small, tiny amounts. I give it to people, and then you don't have the large amount at this point. You don't need to create an entire big batch. But once the product is like a good to-go product and I love it, I normally turn it into a bigger product and take it with me to the farmer's market. And in this case, I get, for example, I'm always taking around 40 scrubs to the farmer's market. Jackie, hi, lady. You made it. So I take 40 scrubs to the farmer's market, and then I've got my little inventory. And sometimes, depending how many we sell each weekend, I only need to make maybe one or two, and on other times I need to make 7. And some of them are always good sellers, but every weekend is completely different. So I use the batch tool at all times to create then the larger amounts. And I'm just going to show you how that would work. And let me share my screen for that. And I've got my coffee here too, because I'm so tired from this 4th of July. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me share my screen. Present, share screen. You should see the one here right now in a second. And then I'm going to hop over to my account and log in. Okay, so I'm going to go here. And I'm going to just simply show you, for example, let me grab one of the scrubs here. Okay, sea salt. Okay, let's take this one. So so my scrub containers are quite a bit less. Let me just 1 second. Maybe I'll find the mango. Okay, that is actually a good example maybe too. Okay, so basically I also do like this is a new product I'm actually creating. So one of them, let me just go to the initial position I would be in. Okay. And then click, hang on just a second. And then I'm gonna click save here for now. Save as. Let me save this one as a different one, as 30 grams. 1 heart, I believe it is. Okay. Okay, let me just double check something. 600 grams. So one is 40 gram, not 35. Sorry. So let's create 40 grams. So 40 gram is 1 heart, and it's like a small little a little scrap heart I do, and they weigh around 40 grams. So when I did my initial testing, I only started out with a small amount, and that was 40 grams. Now, when I want to create a batch of, let's say, 4 go in one bag because they're hard enough, I'm using some soap. I'm also using poppy seed and sugar cane sugar. And then I'd like to create now just a whole large amount for the next time for the farmer's market. And if I know 5 go into one bag, that's 200 grams. And if I want to have 5 bags, for example, with me, or even 5 bags or 10 bags, then I would go to 2000 grams over here. So let's do that. Oops. 2000 grams, and everything gets calculated into 2000 grams over here, what I need, all the amounts. And then in addition, if you have any kind of packaging, you always want to remember, let me see if I have my bags. I don't have them in here right now. Okay. You know what? I got these beautiful bags, but let's take another container that would, for example, so one container would hold around 5 of these hearts. And I know that I'm creating now 10 containers with 5 hearts. So I definitely would change the amount to 10 over here. But then I would come over here and also say I'm creating a batch size of 10. So what happens if I go back for a moment? What happens down here right now, you have the cost per unit price at $60.34. And you want to change this, of course, to how much is a unit still, and because you want to see the profit per unit, not for the entire batch only, since you're probably selling different batches. So if you might only sell 2 bags instead of 10 bags, or you might sell 8 bags instead of 10 bags, and you want to know what your profit margin will be on those ones. So first of all, change the batch size in your packaging to 10, but then also change it over here to 10. So if you're creating 200 gram packaging, 5 hearts are 200 grams, you're creating 10 packages, you have 10 times of a container, and then also the batch size is 10. So with that is my costs are per 5, $6.03. And then my profit margin, because I have a markup of 4, is going to be $18. So I really can actually create a really nice profit margin with these type of little scrub parts. And they're super sweet. You can take them under the shower and so on. So you can grab the recipe here as well. But they would give me quite a good profit margin. Now, if I just want to create one bag as a gift, and I know 1 heart is 40 grams and 5 go into a bag, I would just come over here, go back to 200 grams. These are 5 hearts. I'm going to put like 1 bag and then here 1. So I know now that the cost per unit is $6 and my profit margin for this unit is $18. Sometimes what I see people do as well is that they save maybe 1 unit and then they save another unit. I have done that here too. You see my scraps here is 1 times 5 ounces, but then I have saved the same scrap here with 5 pieces for 5 ounces. So depending how many you need, you always need to remember to adjust the packaging as well, and then adjust the batch size on the right-hand side here on top, so you get the correct unit price. So let's maybe take an example. Let's clear this one out, and let's just create a hypothetical 4 ounce scrub. So you might put in, let me just go to, you might put in some cocoa butter, you might put in some shea butter, and then you maybe have some almond oil and sugar for sure, or salt. And then you might have, let's just put lavender for the sake of speediness here, and vitamin E. And if you put a preservative in, you would go ahead and do that at this point too. Okay, so let's adjust. I'm just gonna see that I get to 100% down here. So I want a bit more of my shea butter in here. Definitely 30%. I come a little bit too much here. And sugar should be, probably actually sugar must be a bit higher. Let's go down with the shea butter and also go down with this one and 1%. And here I'm going to take 0.5%. And I'm going to go up to, 5 here. All right, so this one is going to be my single. I'm going to put it into a 4-ounce PET container. The batch size in this case is 1. And then I'm going to name it Test Blend Live, Sugar Scrub Live. So don't take this scrub right now as an example, as a solid recipe, because I'm not formulating right now. I just want to show you something. So click Save. Now I've got 1 unit, 150 gram. Now you might take this, you will say, okay, I'm going to take this one over to the farmer's market. I want to create 10 units of this. So you simply change here to 1,500. Then you're going to come over here, adjust your packaging to 10. And then you also come over here and adjust the batch size to 10. And with that, it gives you, yes, the entire formulation costs, but also per unit. And again, you can then adjust your price. You probably want to have a little bit of a profit margin in there and make sure that you can sell this product then accordingly. So the retail price for this unit would be right now $20.63. You might say this is a bit too high. You can go down and then you see $15.47 and your profit is $10. Now, if you sell 10 of them at the farmer's market, you have $100. If you sell way more, that's good. If you say that's not enough, then you might want to find a few different products that are a bit more luxurious, and you can increase the price and have a higher profit margin. So let me know if that makes sense. And did I not add this to the screen again? Okay, could you see my screen or not? Just give me a quick up. I think I forgot to add to the screen to the. I am tired today because today was literally a day after, but were you able to see my screen actually? Just for the ones that are online right now. If not, I'm more than happy to go through this again. Let me know. Gonna stop sharing. Let's see. No, okay. Let me do it one more time because that's important. And I know Holistic Aromatics is right now you're new, so I want you to see that. Shannon, you were able to see my screen? Okay, that's all weird. Let me just do this one more time, please, for you. So I want to make sure that the whole batching is actually visible. So I'm going to share my screen one more time. And then I come over here. I'm going to say share. I'm going to add it. You should see it in a moment. Here we go. And then let me come over to Blend Precisely. So what I was just explaining, you have the possibility to create either one batch or 10 batches or 15 or 20. And I was taking the example of maybe going to a farmer's market or to any markets and you want to take more than one unit size. So let's just take this one more time as an example. So I'm gonna come over here and look for my test scrub one more time. I just saved, I believe. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So my test scrub currently has 150 grams, which is a 4-ounce container. It fits into a small 4-ounce PET container. I added the PET container over here, one, and then over here, my hourly rate, if I make just a sample, I don't calculate my hourly rate. If I'm just testing a product and I go out with the product for the first time, I test it at home, I give it to friends, I give it to family members, and I ask them, let me know how this product is in a week, because I'm planning to maybe bring it out into the market. And then I come back and I adjust everything people might have said. And again, this formula isn't 100% correct formula. It's just a fast formula to show you. So don't don't take this one. But so if you then get good feedback and you're like, great, I'm going to take this product, I'm going to put it out in the farmer's market. It's going to be a pretty good seller, and I'm going to create 10 of those ones that I want to take with me. So what you want to do here in this case is you come over back to your recipe or your formulation, you enlarge the amount here. And again, this one is the cosmetic mode. You can also do it all in the other mode, but I like to take the cosmetic mode because it's much easier to calculate accurately all of these, and I don't need to count drops for big, large batches. You know how painful that is to sit there, right? To create a 1.5 grams of lavender times 10, and you count and count, and then you miscount or the drop isn't coming out. So I love using grams, and for that reason, that's what you see here. So let's say we're going to take it to the farmer's market. I want to create 10 of those ones. So I'm going to increase by 10. And then all of these amounts change automatically. Now I need to get 15 grams of lavender, for example, 600 grams of cane sugar, almonds, shea butter 375, and cocoa butter 75. Then I come over to my packaging and I'm going to say 10 units basically. So I need 10 times a 4-ounce PET jar because that's what my batch is going to be. And then you're going to come over here as well and do the batch size over here, the 10. So you basically create 1,500 grams in your batch product. Then you take 10 units over here, and then you want to have 10 as a batch size. And the reason is that you want to know the costs per unit down here. You want to know how much one unit costs. So the entire formulation, all the things over here on the left-hand side, will cost you $46.17. The packaging of these 10 PET containers is $5.40. Now you can maybe even add some production time, however long it will take you. My hourly rate, I put in $25. If your hourly rate, for example, is 15, then this amount is, of course, lower. So you want to calculate, of course, your hours you spend creating in the kitchen or wherever you are. And then your total costs of goods sold is $59.07. So for 10 units, including your production time, including the container, including all of the formulation items, your costs are $59. Now you want to know, of course, well, how much is one container gonna cost me? That's $5.91. If you have a profit margin, a markup of 3, you can see that the single unit should be sold at $17.72. If you think that this is too high or too low, you can still always increase it or decrease it. I always think, as someone who sells on a farmer's market or markets or anywhere, if it's not a wholesale account, you want to go at least by 3, if not by 4. So if the product seems too expensive at this point, if you cannot sell a 4-ounce product for $23.63, then you either want to replace some of your ingredients 4 cheaper ingredients. Or you want to make sure you add maybe a luxurious ingredient to justify the price a little bit more, but maybe the costs are not that much higher. So you really want to play around before you start creating large amounts. You want to make sure that you have a solid profit margin. So for the profit for this one, for example, I would get $17.72 per profit or per scrub. And if I sell 10 of them, I have $170 in the bank for 10 scrubs, selling them on a market or online or anywhere you go. So that's why when you create batches, you want to look at changing the number over here in the batch size, changing the number with a 4-ounce PET jar, changing, of course, the ingredients to 10 times. And then you want to come down here and look at the unit prices and the profit per unit. This one is most likely one of your most important ones because you don't want to stand out on a market and your profit margin per unit is something like $4 or $5. You will never be able to get this business off the ground with this type of low profit margin. So really watch out that you at least have a markup of 3, if not 4, for most of the products. Now, this being said, I just mentioned that I created these new little hearts. Let me just see these sugar cube hearts. One of them is 40 grams. They are like these small, tiny sugar cubes, and 5 of them go into a package. Those guys have a higher profit margin because one of them is $1. By the way, you can steal that recipe. That worked really well. Take a screenshot. But this one is $1 per piece in production costs. So if I put a bag together, which has a cute label and something else nice to say, I can sell that bag then for $20. So 40 grams per cube, 5 go in it. So I'm creating 200. I'm going to just add a container, and then the batch size here is going to be going up to 5 because I put 5 into my bag. And then let me just see, 200, batch size is 5. Okay. And then the cost per unit is $1.21. And here I can probably maybe even increase it to a markup of 5. So depending what you do, what kind of product, if it's an oil blend, if it's a scrub, if it is something else, you always want to see that you can have, let me come back. Okay. Okay, you could see it. Thank you, Shannon. So you always want to make sure that you create a product that has somewhat of a higher perceived value without having your costs go up necessarily. And that sometimes means that you cannot use jasmine. I just created a scrub, a body butter the other day for myself, and I just wanted to see is like, how luxurious can I go? And I put jasmine in, I put some rose in. I could not sell this product as a body butter, I think, because it's too expensive. Jasmine and rose is so expensive. You need quite a bit of an amount in there, something around 1% of your total amount. And then the body butter would have been sold for $45, I believe, for a small jar, 4-ounce jar. So in order to sell that type of product, you probably want to have something like a golden label on it, like a seal that looks beautiful, put the description right up to the top and have like a very luxurious description on your website. So pricing is a little bit of, you have Blend Precisely and it gives you everything you need. And then it's a little bit of art as well. How much can you sell your products for? And who is going to be your customer? Now, if you're going to a very luxurious event, it's not a farmer's market maybe. Let's say you're at a corporate event and people are there, you might be able to pull that off with a body butter that has jasmine and rose in it, and for $45 for a 4-ounce little container. But then, of course, you have other oils you can use, other butters jojoba is expensive and apricot kernel oil is expensive, so you might want to exchange it for some oils. But in general, I always go out, test my first product. I go and give it to my friends. I go and give it to my family. I collect literally feedback. I go back and say, how was it? Give me 1 to 5. Which one was your favorite if I have several? And then I only go out and produce it. Then I try it out on the farmer's market in a small amount, just 5 pieces. And then I can put it onto my website and I can actually increase the number of products the next time. And then again, there's of course this no farmer's market is the same. One day I sell 10 of those and the other day I don't sell any of these. So it's really frustrating to get something. This one will always work because it just simply won't. So that's why I have a good amount of 5 or 6 or 7 I take with me per aroma. And so I don't sit on a whole bunch of inventory. But yeah, that's basically how I go about the batching. So that question came up in an email. I wanted to make sure I show you how I use the batch tool. And then let me see, do you have any questions? Especially, I'm not sure what your name is, Holistic Aromatics. I would love to call you by the name, but because you're new to Blend Precisely, there are a ton of different features in there. And simply write me an email, hello@blendprecisely.io, or in this group, in our Blend Precisely group, you can post the question as well. And you will also get a whole range of emails now. And every day there's going to be a new feature you can try out. And then we have, of course, all our tutorials. And let me show you that one quickly. They sit now over here, help, and then BP 4.0 tutorials. I would start out with these ones because they literally go down in sequence and on what you probably want to do and adjust first. So from the home page where everything is to the account page and then the preferences and so on. So I try to keep them as short as possible. Sometimes they end up a little bit longer because the formulation just takes time. But welcome. And yeah, definitely check out those ones. Kimberly. Okay, great. Let's see. Kimberly, and no, that was great. I will be looking at all the videos. Yeah, try to do them, but nevertheless, always ask the questions because yeah, there's a lot to do inside of Blend Precisely. So lovely that you could make it. Great. Okay, are there any other questions right now while I'm online? These lives, Kimberly, are happening every Wednesday at the same time, 1 p.m. Rarely there is a Wednesday where I'm not live, but if there are any questions in between, always write me an email or always ask in the group. There are many people that already know the tool quite well, so welcome again. Shannon, Jackie, I will see you most likely, hopefully at 3 o'clock in our business membership. And then I will leave you all. This was quite short. Sorry for the not show of the video in the beginning, but I'm just tired today, so that's all. Okay, have everyone a really good afternoon, and I will talk to you next Wednesday, same time, and yeah, same video. Bye.